The desert lay out before her in silence, drenched in the warm, burnt orange color of the setting sun. Above the hills of Flagstaff, the light played across the dust as Janelle Brown stood barefoot in her small kitchen, drinking her morning coffee. It was something she had held on to for years, quiet, earthy, routine. Something in her eyes had shifted. Gone was the demure, down-to-earth woman who once settled comfortably into being the always reliable wife. Instead, before her now stood someone stronger. Quieter, maybe, but not weaker. Janelle had survived, and now she was changing. But what shattered her? What finally compelled her to put herself first instead of everything else that she constructed? The solution lay in heartbreak too great for words, the loss of her precious son, Garrison. Not only was his death a tragedy, but a turning point. While the entire Brown family grieved, Janelle grieved alone. Kody kept his distance. Robin never even came to the door. She sent a couple of impersonal texts, hollow words when presence was the greatest need. What happens to a woman who's spent decades in silence and suddenly realizes no one's listening? The evening prior to Garrison's memorial, Janelle sat by herself in her bedroom, weeping. But this time, the tears were accompanied by a change. In her confession, she cried not merely. She spoke with an unwavering voice and unblinking precision. I kept hoping Kody would come, that maybe, just maybe, he'd show up, as a husband, as a father, but there was nothing, just silence. Silence has a penchant for awakening you. And Janelle? She was awake now. By the second show, she wasn't merely clinging by her fingernails. She was strategizing, no longer sitting around to discuss retirement with Kody. Rather, she was meeting with real estate lawyers and financial advisors, without Kody. She disclosed that not one of the homes was in her name legally. Each house, each shared asset, was in Cody and Robin's name. In a voice memo recorded late one evening, Janelle admitted to herself, I spent decades building a life I don't even legally own. I gave everything, for what? She wasn't furious anymore. She was ready. While that was happening, Robin, the once beloved wife, was becoming more and more isolated in her big house, ironically referred to as the palace by fans. Kody's anger was spiraling out of control. His hold on the family was weakening, and Robin had anticipated that Mary would support her now that Christine had departed and Janelle was distancing herself. For a short period, Mary did, but even that bond was starting to deteriorate. Betrayal doesn't necessarily blow up. Sometimes it whispers first. Mary became quieter. She stopped reaching out. Then, the breaking point, Dayton's birthday. Mary found out the party had occurred on social media. Her heartbreak was fresh. I thought we were friends, she later admitted, but I wasn't even worth a text. What followed, fans had waited seasons for. Mary rang. Robin ignored her. Instead, Kody texted, blaming Mary for being so negative and asking her to leave Robin alone. That was the last thing she wrote. In the following episode, fans at last saw the much-hyped confrontation, not on the show, but taped secretly by a microphone. Mary went to Robin's home by herself and let go of the truth she had kept inside for years. You exploited me, she growled, her voice low and biting. You never valued sisterhood. You only needed me by your side so that you would not appear abandoned when Christine and Janelle awaked. Robin sobbed. Naturally, she did. But Mary did not flinch. Don't do that, Mary snapped. Don't manipulate me with tears. You cried for years while the rest of us fell apart. When I was no longer useful to you, you threw me to the wolves. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more dramatic, Kody walked in, enraged. But Mary wasn't finished. She faced him, her eyes burning. You told me I was your soulmate once, she said. Was that just another lie to silence me? I'm just baggage now. something for you to be ashamed of. And you know what, Robin? You deserve it. Both of you do." And with that, Mary turned and went away, never glancing back. What came next stunned fans. In the weeks following that altercation, something remarkable started to happen. Mary and Janelle were seeing each other on a regular basis, quietly rekindling after years of courteous remoteness. Betrayal had accomplished what years of enforced solidarity couldn't. It united them in reality. From the ashes of abandonment, a connection started building. Then Mary shared a scheme that would shake the whole Brown family to its very foundation. On a secretly recorded call, she turned to Janelle and exclaimed, "I want to do a podcast, not just about my life, but all of it. Polygamy, the deception, the courtroom manipulation, Robin's manipulations, all of it." Janelle agreed readily. She had already started working on her own memoir with a ghostwriter. "Let's do it," she said. "Let's be truthful. No more lies." From that point forward, they were no longer merely ex-wives, co-creators, co-reclaimers of their truth. Together, they began to pave the way toward a joint platform. They discussed petitioning for financial audits of the family's LLCs, investigating property transfers, and even filing suits. This was not revenge, it was justice, well past due. Word of the partnership broke Robin's heart. She collapsed on the floor of her bedroom, weeping uncontrollably to Kody. "Mary is attempting to ruin my life," she wailed. Kody, pacing the kitchen, grumbled that the women had declared war. But for once, neither of them was in charge. As the last days of the season drew near, there was no tawdry showdown, only a cold hush. Robin, by herself in her cavernous house, drifted by framed photos of happy family scenes, like a specter of her own history. Kody, screaming into a telephone, maybe to an attorney, was off camera somewhere. The camera lingered on Robin's face, once soft and weeping, now contorted with terror. Then it cut to something new, something real. Mary and Janelle, seated in a recording studio in Utah, microphones in front of them, facing a producer. No filters, no script, just truth. "This isn't just about us," Mary said firmly. "It's about every woman who was told that silence was the price of loyalty." Janelle leaned forward. Her voice was steady. "We were sister wives, but now we're sisters. For real." The first 3 episodes of their podcast, titled Unspoken Wives Tentatively, had been recorded in hiding. Only a few close producers and legal professionals were aware of what was about to happen. No trailers, no teasers, even a warning to the family. They wanted it to fall like a bolt of thunder on the truth. And they were prepared. Janelle handled the business side with precision, establishing a new LLC entirely separate from any Brown family ties. She ensured that every copyright, every dollar, belonged to them alone. Meanwhile, Mary channeled years of buried pain into clear, powerful storytelling. Her journal entries became monologues, her scars became scripts. The evening prior to the launch, Mary alone in a Salt Lake City hotel room, laptop on, her finger poised over the publish key. She called Janelle. "Are we ready?" Janelle was unhesitant. "We've been ready. The minute they determined that our loyalty wasn't worth the truth, we were ready." Mary clicked the button. The opening words of episode 1, entitled Chosen, Then Forgotten, established the tone. "Prior to realizing that I was just an excuse, I spent 32 years attempting to set an example. My name is Mary Brown." For the first time, Mary publicly admitted that Robin, whom she referred to as the orchestrator behind the curtain, and Kody had emotionally manipulated her. She explained how Robin inserted herself into every choice, every significant conversation. She exposed Robin's suspected role in secretly coercing the family's relocation to Flagstaff. Not unity, but power, proximity, control over Kody's attention and wealth. And then episode 2 began, introducing Janelle. Her saga had only just started. Her tone was soothing, nearly surgical, but her words were sharp. Janelle bared the truth, exposing that she had invested close to $200,000 into what was to be her dream home in Arizona. But the documentation? That had a different tale to tell. Her name never appeared on the title. "I made the payment," she explained. "They signed the deed. I trusted them, but they cheated me." The bombshells just continued to drop. Janelle explained how, without any of them knowing, Mary, Christine, or herself, Cody and Robin had sneakily created an LLC. They designated themselves as the single managers, and then they moved several family properties into the entity. No conversation, no agreement, just domination. The crowd was shocked. Legal professionals chimed in. Reddit exploded. Reality television blogs published piece after piece, and public opinion shifted nearly overnight. Robin was no longer the sympathetic wife left holding the shattered fragments. She now resembled the brains behind a quiet coup. The other women? Mere support beams in her fantasy building scheme. Robin allegedly flipped out inside her Arizona estate when she heard the audio of the podcast. She threw a glass bowl against the wall. Even Cody, quick to leap to her defense, was shaken. "They're portraying us as evil," she cried. "They're distorting everything." But Cody's anger wasn't towards Mary or Janelle. It was aimed at Robin. "You promised me they'd be loyal," he growled. "You said Mary would never betray me. You swore Janelle wasn't dangerous." And finally, Robin saw what had shifted. Cody wasn't merely angry. He was fearful, not so much of Mary and Janelle themselves, but of what they had yet to spill. 3 weeks into the podcast's explosive launch, Mary and Janelle went public. They sat side by side on Good Morning America, calm, composed, and unapologetic. "This isn't revenge," Janelle said. "This is recovery. We're healing from decades of emotional neglect, spiritual guilt, and manipulation." Mary added, "Polygamy didn't fail us. Secrecy did." Behind the scenes, Cody was spiraling. He made urgent calls to TLC executives, demanding they shut it down. "They're violating their contracts," he shouted in a leaked voicemail. "They're destroying the Sister Wives brand. It's slander." But TLC had no intention of interfering. Ratings were climbing. Engagement was through the roof. As one producer reportedly put it, "If it's their lived experience, it's not slander." Then came the legal blow that rocked the foundation of the Brown family. Janelle's attorney sent a formal letter demanding a forensic investigation into all family business transactions over the past decade. It asked hard questions. Where did the Flagstaff land funds go? Who managed the LLCs? Were profits quietly diverted into Robin's own accounts? Were the other wives legally and financially duped? At a heated family gathering, Robin became tearful. She accused her of being persecuted. Off camera, Cody threw a tantrum. His only utterance to the producers? "If it's war you want, it's war you'll get." But it was too late. The public wasn't on his side anymore. Clips started surfacing online again. Robin manipulating Christine, Cody yelling at Janelle, Mary breaking down in silence. The narrative wasn't his anymore. It belonged to the women now. The last days of the season featured Mary and Janelle sitting together in a sound studio. Almost 10 million downloads. Book deals signed. Hulu and Netflix inquiring. A documentary series in development. Robin, one time the legal wife, now resided in peaceful solitude, the queen of a dilapidated castle. And Cody? The erstwhile patriarch sat alone, gazing at the emptiness left by the women who had provided him with everything. But the tale wasn't about departing. It was about ascending, as one. And then came the shocker. Sister Wives Season 19 had its final TLC episode on June 15th, 2025. The four-part special left one thing certain: the family dynamic would never be the same. Host Sukanya Krishnan looked Kody dead in the eye during the series finale and asked the question millions were hoping to hear. Would you ever consider polygamy again? Kody's response? A pause, a sigh, and then, I don't want to live that way anymore. Kody Brown claimed that falling too deeply in love with Robin is what caused his other marriages to fall apart. He admitted that while his romantic feelings for Robin have remained constant, his relationships with his other wives simply couldn't survive. I'm happy to stay monogamous, he said, because my heart hasn't changed. But Robin had other thoughts. This wasn't the way I wanted it to happen, she admitted in her sit-down with Sukanya Krishnan. I was to be a part of a big family, a larger picture. She added that she would still be willing to continue to add sister wives if the option arose, but that Kody single-handedly suited her needs for now. In the meantime, Mary had made it very clear she's not dating and is still single. But she expressed ongoing support for polygamy, but with one caveat: it only succeeds if everyone on board is equally invested. Janelle also shared similar sentiments. She stated she was willing to try plural marriage, but acknowledged it didn't look like something that would occur again with her, at least not anytime in the near future. Christine, though, had already taken a stand. She didn't bring it up again during the finale, but in her 2023 interview with Us Weekly, she made it clear loud and proud. Once she met David Woolley, Christine explained that she wished to concentrate on a monogamous relationship and leave the madness of polygamy behind. In his tell-all, David Woolley himself got honest. The owner of the building company condemned Kody's conduct in his previous marriages. Kody wasn't only manipulative with Christine, he said. He was manipulative with all of them. David countered Kody's claim that polygamy had broken down, saying instead that it was Kody's conduct that led to its demise. Polygamy didn't fail. Kody thrived on the tension, he said. He liked the wives being at odds. I've seen it in my own family. It's the men who ruin it. They pit the women against each other because they want to be fought over. They absolutely destroy them. David blamed the collapse of the Brown family on Kody's selfishness and unwillingness to take responsibility. But Kody wouldn't admit fault. Near the end of the finale, he asserted that his wives had become different after they left him. I wouldn't have started out mean, he explained, but when they left, they turned mean. Kody maintained that he was just responding to the jabs from his former wives, and that all he now desired was peace. But then came one of the most buzzed-about moments of the finale, when Kody was grilled over his sex life. In a one-on-one with Krishnan, Kody remembered a college encounter and confessed to having what he referred to as Mormon naughty moments, kissing and hugging but not going all the way. Christine wasn't buying it. She later accused him of lying about his past. Were there any other secrets? She asked. Kody said there weren't, but admitted there were moments that came close. When Krishnan jokingly referred to him avoiding home runs, Kody abruptly shut the conversation down. Out of respect for my wife, I'm done talking about this, he snapped. Kody is officially and emotionally wed to Robin alone. In the last 3 years, Mary, Janelle, and Christine have all left. On the finale, when the conversation turned to his life, Kody was uncomfortable. He became emotional in front of the cameras. You can pretend like it's everyone's business, he said, but they were just having fun. Christine had been frank in her own interview, going so far as to broach the subject of intimacy. But Kody didn't like the tables being turned on him. That's not a cool conversation, he groused, although Krishnan reminded him that they were talking about his relationship with Robin, not his sexuality. Still, fans weren't buying it. Twitter and Facebook were ablaze with responses to Kody's defensiveness. On Facebook, this one stuck out. The way he described that experience, it almost seemed like he was trying to come out to Robin and Mary, and then when Suki wasn't even going there, he shot back. Why so defensive? Season 19 of Sister Wives ended on more questions than answers. But what is certain is that the women aren't holding back anymore, and Kody can't dictate the narrative. If we've learned anything from Sister Wives Season 19 and its tell-alls, it's that the Brown family's foundational flaws went far beyond just the concept of plural marriage. Favoritism, misplaced priorities, and a romance that didn't follow the same rules created deep fractures. At the heart of much of the chaos, Cody and Robin Brown's relationship. In hindsight, the bond between them was intensely strong, nearly improper given the context of polygamy. Other wives noticed, the audience noticed, and now, with recent tell-all confessions, it's apparent the manner in which Cody and Robin started their affair might have signaled the demise of the Browns. Janelle Brown looked back at her early years with Cody in one of the strongest moments of the season. Her candor came as a surprise. I don't know that I would have married him truthfully if I had spent a year with Cody, Janelle told the crowd. I might have gotten to see him for a little bit more of who he was. You know what I mean? She informed host Sukanya Krishnan that the allure had faded. It was an unusual emotional moment from practical Janelle. But it also indicated a deeper, long-standing problem. Cody never invested as heavily in his relationships. Nevertheless, Janelle, ever gracious, refused to let bitterness consume her. I don't have to go back and spoil all that was, she stated. Would I be in this marvelous place if I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry I did all that"? Her words weren't simply about her regrets. They were a reminder of the enduring imbalance Cody created, one that bred resentment and ultimately 3 divorces. Let's discuss that courtship. When Cody came into contact with Robin, he was already married to 3 and operating a boisterous household in Lehi, Utah. Rather than being cautious, however, Cody plunged headlong into the romance and left the rest of the family in the dark. Fans witnessed this play out during Season 1. Long phone calls, spontaneous road trips, and the infamous pre-wedding kiss that stunned the wives. The romance resembled monogamy, not plural marriage. Cody devoted more time, more effort, more everything to Robin. Janelle brought this out in the tell-all. Cody had a very long courtship compared to the rest of us, she said. Long-term romance is not really appropriate for a married man. The two courted for almost a year. While Janelle worked full-time to sustain the family and Christine stayed home pregnant, Cody was courting Robin. Instead of appearing for his wives, he was completely immersed in a new romance narrative and still wanting everyone else to pretend to be one big happy plural family. Robin, for years, said she didn't want to be treated special. She said she wanted the family to function and that she admired the other wives. But in the latest tell-all, she finally spoke the quiet part out loud. A seemingly insignificant admission came decades of special treatment, the notorious luggage rack. Years went by, and whenever Cody went out, the other wives observed that he always placed his own bag on the luggage rack, except with Robin. Robin confessed in the tell-all that she had sole claim to the luggage rack. Perhaps I stuck my bags up there first. I don't know, she said matter-of-factly, but ex-wives and fans knew better. It was just another sign of the other Cody she received. The one who appeared for birthday appearances, brought presents, and took care of her kids. Robin has obviously gained the most from the breakdown of the family. While she professed a desire for unity, she was the favored wife acting stupid. Now that the others have departed, it's difficult to ignore the reality. Cody made his decision years ago. So what does it all amount to? It means that the breakdown wasn't sudden. It was gradual, out in the open, and totally avoidable. Cody's love affair with Robin shattered the system that was on the verge of breaking. His emotional involvement with one woman took the toll of the others. And though Robin can still claim she desires a cohesive family, she's the one who is left with the home, the husband, and the privilege of denial. Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.